Greetings, mortals. I am Warevo, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I have a little thing that I got years and years ago that's kind of been sitting around. Today I'm going to be talking about the Millennium Falcon plug-and-play Star Wars TV game. Yes, I said TV game as opposed to video game from Jakks Pacific. There's really not much to be said about it that hasn't already been said, but that's not going to stop me from trying. Y'all know me. So this is the Star Wars Millennium Falcon plug-and-play TV game from Jakks Pacific. There's really not much to say about the physical form. The ergonomics are very identical to the Atari 2600, except that it has two buttons instead of one. To compare, for you younger folks who don't know what Atari is, this is an Atari 2600 controller. One button, one joystick. Very, very similar. There's not really much to say about this. This was released in... I know you can't see it very well here. I'll probably throw a picture of it in the video or something, but this was released in 2006, which was 6 years before Disney acquired Lucasfilm. I admire the design choice of using the Millennium Falcon because it is one of the most recognized ships in science fiction. And the attention to detail is kind of admirable, especially given that they put the power button where the engine is. But yeah. You have the typical NES A, B buttons, single Atari style or arcade style if you prefer joystick, on-off switch, and the button on the back that returns you to the main menu. That's really it. Now the first thing you'll notice is the Star Wars theme, which sounds like a pretty good version. It's more akin to the Sega Genesis. While I believe it's supposed to be more of an arcade style, you have 4 games. You have Lightsaber Duel, Red Leader, Assault on Hoth, and Battle of Endor. We'll start with Lightsaber Duel, which is very simple. It's an arcade-style tournament fighter, kind of like Mortal Kombat, but instead of being cool and smacking each other with your fist and hands and feet and stuff, you're just whacking each other with lightsabers. Or, I guess more accurately, sticks.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Yeah, what you heard was a voice clip ripped straight out of A New Hope. Honestly, the voice clips kind of sound good for what they are. The first problem comes in when you realize the main games themselves have no music. This leaves the games lacking in atmosphere, where otherwise if they'd throw in music that was appropriate to the levels, it would at least add to my enjoyment factor a little bit. Another thing to note, the controls in these games are very stiff. And yes, I just kicked Obi-Wan in the nuts. The gameplay reminds me of other Star Wars tournament fighters like Masters of Terras Kasai, where your only hope is to just kind of mash buttons and hope for the best. That's what you're doing here. You're just mashing buttons and hoping to win. But as you can see here, that didn't work out. The second game on our list today is Red Leader, which is honestly kind of fun. It's more akin to Centipede and Galaga or games like that. It's a horizontal 2D space shooter. There's really not much to it. Just shoot the enemies. The asteroids contain various power-ups and stuff. You can get deflector shields. You can get an A-wing that follows you around. If you manage to live long enough to make it that far, eventually you'll be able to destroy a Star Destroyer, which is honestly really cool. I've only ever been able to beat it once, but there's really not much variety to the gameplay here. This feels like something you would play back in the 80s on an arcade. But this is definitely not something that you'd want to play in your home in front of a bunch of people. And honestly, with the scrolling background, it reminds me more of the Galaxy Monkey minigame from Ape Escape. Next up, we have my personal favorite, and the only one that I'm actually good at, Assault on Hoth. This, as the title suggests, takes place during the Hoth invasion, where the Empire was attacking the Rebel base with the walkers. It's a very simple tower defense game, and it is very mindless for the most part. As I said before, this is a very simple tower defense game. You just shoot the enemies before they reach the end of your line. Eventually, every so often, you'll get power-ups like deflector shields or ion cannon blasts to stun the enemies or slow them down. Enemies include Imperial snowtroopers, probe droids, AT-STs, and of course the obligatory AT-AT. This game, as I said before, is the only one I'm actually good at. Where all you have to do is just go from side to side, raising your deflector shields, blocking the enemy blasts, and attacking the enemy soldiers. That's really all there is to it. It's very simplistic, but it's fun for what it is. Which is perfect for me, given how the Hoth battle was my absolute favorite part of the Star Wars franchise. Well, the canon part at least. But last but not least, we have the Battle of Endor, which I'm just gonna stop for a minute. I'm just gonna stop for a minute. Right here, it says dodge trees and shoot down speeders as Leia, disable the shield generator as Chewbacca, and destroy the second Death Star as Lando. I can tell you right now, people with my level of patience and my incredible lack of reflexes, let me put it this way. I can't play this game well enough to make it far enough into the game to see Chewbacca or Lando. That should tell you something. Now, you spawn in as Leia, and the first thing that happens if you're not paying attention, you die. It is very easy to die if you're not watching in front of you. But you can't watch in front of you because you have to watch out behind you for the speeders. But you can't watch out for the speeders because you have to watch in front of you for the trees. Where do you watch? And for me, the screen is moving too fast. My reflexes can't keep up with this kind of fast pace. I have a half hour's worth of footage on just this game alone that's literally nothing but me dying over and over again due to my poor reflexes. And I'm not going to show that here because how would that be fair to you guys? You guys have more important things to do than sit here and watch me suffer for the next half hour over the same mundane, boring level over and over and over. But that's the Star Wars Millennium Falcon plug-and-play TV game from Jakks Pacific. It's nothing special. It might be fun if you have like a little kid who's into Star Wars and might be wanting to get into it, but For an adult who has way better things to play, I would much rather play Shadows of the Empire. Actually, I might end up reviewing that at some point. That's a fun game, and it's an important part of my childhood. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been Warevo. Thank you so much, and God bless.